your call with Roll Tide Roll. You can talk bacon grease, you can talk geese, you can talk about the way things ought to be. And if you get lucky, you might even talk to Freddie. Talk Congress, crime and cruise ships, celibacy, entertainment districts. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of it. Let's talk about the Constitution.
I'm uncomfortable being called baby.
Just don't talk about prostitution or
Cut that out!
testosterone.
Don't send me things to click.
You can talk football, baseball, and eating meat, team parties and bringing up children. You can talk city streets, deadbeats, and the way things probably ain't never gonna be. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of it.
What's the matter with you people?
Talk politics, just leave his mama out of it.
Making songs about my mama? Leave my mama out of this now!
We're not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
Beavers have just as much right to exist and to live here in their natural habitat as we do. Public sentiment is with the beavers. If beavers are a gentle, monogamous species who form pair bonds, mate for life, and live in multi-generational family groups.
Don't draw conclusions, because if you do, you're going to be wrong. You can draw them if you want and just be wrong. I guess you all don't have any consequences for being wrong.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Just getting word of an accident in Gulf Breeze, Portofino Drive at Via de Luna Drive. Watch for congestion on Highway 59. From I-10 to Gulf Shores, it's a 48-minute drive. And on the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, an 18-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll share the story of the American who rescued the 33 Chilean miners back in 2010. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Win. That's win. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Thank you, and roll Tide.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. And I thank you. I'm thanking you right now for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate it more than you could ever understand. I really like it. I do. I prefer it, actually. Once again, Here we are together, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? And what an incredible weekend. Just the weather was magnificent. What magnificent weather we have had. It's this past weekend on the Gulf Coast and this morning and today here. Just a wonderful time of year, isn't it? To be living here on the Gulf Coast. And to start a week by turning on the television this morning and seeing these hostages get released out of the Mideast, to see President Trump give that speech in Israel to the Knesset. Just what I'm in praying that the peace takes hold, praying that everything goes great and that this does actually mean peace in the Mideast. Just an amazing thing to start the week with Donald Trump, the guy that everybody says is a fascist. People call him Hitler all the time. There's all kind of, you can just go and watch hours and hours and hours of videos online of people telling us all the horrible things will happen if Donald Trump is president. Do you remember any of that? Do you remember all the predictions about how horrible it was going to be? I think Oprah was saying that women may not get to vote again. We may never have elections again. Meanwhile, he's trying to broker peace throughout the world. What an incredible thing. If you didn't watch that speech, by the way, well worth it. Even if you don't care about the Middle East, some of it was quite entertaining, the Donald Trump speech this morning in Israel at the Knesset. Now, if you didn't watch it, he went through a list of people that he thanked for helping get the peace process going. He named a lot of different people that he says helped the peace process. Now, one of the people he mentioned was Marco Rubio, one of the people that ran against him for president some time ago. And he praised Marco Rubio. I just want, in case you missed it,
a man named Marco Rubio, who is also here. That's right.
They gave Marco a standing O in the Knesset. There were a lot of standing O's. Lengthy standing O.
And I have a prediction that Marco will go down, I mean this, as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of the United States. I believe that. I believe it. And he and I, we really fought it out. You remember, he was tough. He was nasty. Who the hell thought this was going to happen, Marco?
And and that brought back memories. Now, when he was talking about how he and Marco Rubio used to go at it, it sparked some memories. I went and I looked and I saw all kind of. They were at each other's throats, not just in one debate. It was an ongoing battle. In case you missed that, you heard him just say, Marco Rubio going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history. Here is a little clip from a Fox News debate, Donald Trump and Marco Rubio.
See, question for you, sir.
Let's see if he answers it.
I will. Don't worry about it, Marco. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, little Marco. I will.
All right, well, let's hear Big Don. Donald.
Don't worry about it, Don't worry about it, little Marco.
Gentlemen, gentlemen.
You ought to chill a bit.
Gentlemen, you got to do better than this.
This guy has the number one.
Mr. Trump, may I ask you, Mr. Trump, I'd like to ask you a policy question. Your proposed tax cut.
That's why the people in Florida do not like him.
Mr. Trump, your proposed tax cut.
And now I'm playing this for a reason, or several reasons. One reason is I enjoy it from an entertainment standpoint. The other reason is to jog the memory. Now, when they were going at each other during that primary, and there were other people involved, somebody had told Marco Rubio to fight fire with fire. So Donald Trump would call him Little Marco. Marco Rubio went out and started talking. He would do events where he would talk about Donald Trump having small hands. Do you remember any of this? Marco Rubio did events where he said Donald Trump is 6'2", and he has small hands. And then Marco Rubio would go on to say, and you know what they say about men with small hands, and then the crowd would go wild. And this just went on and on. The reason I'm bringing this up is that didn't work for Marco Rubio. Trying to be similar to Trump did not work for him. I bring that up because we're not that far away from some other people running for president. A lot of people are going to want to, of course, be president, and they're going to try to imitate Trump. So just wait, just watch and wait. There will be Republican candidates. Instead of having one guy calling nicknames, you're going to have 3 or 4. They're going to be people trying to be like Trump. Just watch for it and wait. I'm already seeing some of it out of J.D. Vance. I don't know if you've noticed, J.D. Vance will get on the X app and he'll cuss at people. J.D. Vance will cuss at people on the X app or call them inappropriate names. And I believe it is part of the be like Trump strategy. Or at least they think that's what Trump is about. But there's the two sides. He'll call you Little Marco, and then you flip over on the other side, and he's calling you the greatest Secretary of State in history. So just watch for the inauthentic Trump-like behavior that will erupt on the Republican side. This will be coming sometime soon. Look for it in more than one candidate. And you're not going to like it, probably, because it's just not authentic. And you can tell that when Trump does it, it's coming from somewhere else. All right, there's more. I've got a caller, waiting caller. If you can hang on, I'll get to you. Got so many things to get into other than the peace in the Mideast. All that and more on the way as the Uncle Henry Show continues after the news break here on News Radio 710.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
And watch for a disabled vehicle blocking the road on Beulah Road at West 9 Mile Road. Watch for slowing on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10. It's a 7-minute drive. Traffic is flowing well on the Bayway eastbound from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 14-minute drive. I'm Lisa Baquet. Follow us on X, Total Traffic Gulf Coast.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
This is Lee Habib.
YouTube viewers, if there's anybody watching, thank you for doing that. Thank you for looking in on Facebook. I'm about to bring up, not Facebook, I'm about to bring up YouTube here on the desktop computer. First, I'm making sure everything runs properly while I'm talking to you. Let's see if we have anybody watching. Yes, there's a small number of you there. Hello to the Moon Fairy. Moon Fairy 645. I will, I don't know what my schedule will be this week because I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. There will be new shows every day. I just might not be here for one of them. Hello to, let's see, Spencer Smith. Hello to Spencer Smith. Larry Morting. Edward. I'm not seeing your normal handles here. Tarzan. Pat Nelly. Bama Big Man. By the way, I did not do it. The numbers by your name, not my doing. "68-year-old Chris of West Loxley. Yes, I am still going to the game. Definitely going to the game. And I saw that the Alabama coach has told the Alabama crowd that they need the crowd to be as loud as possible for the Tennessee game. So, going to do it. Now, KP, no, I would not want a fancy cigar because I do not enjoy cigars. I do not like them. It would be a waste to get me a fancy cigar because I would not have the intellect to appreciate the fancy cigar. But let's see. Bama Big Man, who else? Well, I can't tell who y'all are with your fancy new screen names with numbers. So just thank you for looking. Now, what can I tell you about? Going to be back on the radio here in just about 90 seconds. Let me see if there's anything I can tell you about between now and going back on the radio in the weird news file. There's a woman on TikTok claiming that her sister failed a school-mandated drug test because of a poppy seed muffin from a Costco. Now, this sounds like an urban legend. Is this an urban legend that muffins can have you cause you to fail a drug test? Poppy seed muffins? It's I don't know if it's true or not, but it has the feeling of an urban legend, especially since this is being reported through TikTok.
Of Nancy Kelsey, the Betsy Ross of California. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. It's 5:20. Happy Columbus Day to you. Telephone number here, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Yeah, I do have a caller. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, you are live on the radio.
I want to comment on a subject you raised last Friday about bad drivers.
Okay.
I wonder if Chicago made that list.
Of the bad drivers?
In the country. Yes.
Well, I'll look. While I'm looking, did you have a bad experience there with drivers?
Well, let's put it this way. It was the 70s. I was there with my parents.
Okay.
And so help me, every third car, one car out of every three, had a dent in it that I could just about fit in. And when I saw how these people drove, I found out why. I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life, Uncle Henry.
Really? That bad?
And I've seen some bad drivers here, but they ain't nothing compared to Chicago, at least back then. Now, another thing about my visit, I sent you a picture of my uncle, and he used to live in Chicago.
Yeah.
We were visiting with his ex-wife, and so help me, Uncle Henry, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Her boyfriend introduced us to Al Capone's brother.
Oh, you met Al Capone's brother?
And you could tell the facial resemblance was uncanny. There was no mistaking that he was a Capone. And Uncle Henry, his name was Bert.
Bert Capone.
Bert Capone. I swear. He's probably not with us anymore because he was about 80 at that time or close to it. But you could just tell he was Al Capone's brother, and his name was Bert Capone.
Now, did he act like a mobster?
I don't think so, no. He was real stony-faced, you know. He didn't smile. But I just shook hands with him. I was told not to let on that I knew who he was. But he just acted like a regular guy.
By the way, Bert, I did look it up. Chicago not in the top 25 for bad drivers, according to that list.
That is amazing. Maybe they've gotten better in the last 50 years. I don't know.
All of us have capacity for growth, Bert. We all do.
That's true. Maybe Mobile will get off the list someday.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be even nicer would be if Mobile got off the list of the most littered cities in the country. If drivers started having a little more respect and keeping their trash till they got home and put it in the dang trash can.
Well, Bert, don't hold your breath on that.
I know. Well, thank you for taking my call, Henry.
Bert, thank you very much for your phone call. Bert running into Bert Capone, brother of Al Capone, as a youngster in Chicago. I don't have any good stories like that, although I met an elderly woman about 10 years ago in Fairhope as we walked along the beach. We were not with each other. We were just passing each other on the beach and became acquainted. And the lady, one anecdote led to another, and she claimed that her family, she came from a family of bootleggers from the Northeast, and she said that her father used to bootleg with JFK's dad or something like that. So that was a story that I didn't want to get too deep into, because you never know if there's any continued malfeasance going on there. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Before I move on to any other topics, there was wonderful college football over the weekend that included, there was the Alabama Crimson Tide beating Missouri. And I got this voicemail on the topic.
Roll Tide, Uncle, forgive me. I forgot to call you in after that thrilling, another nail-biting victory there yesterday. Roll Tide, roll. At Missouri, they put up a good fight, but we outlasted them. I hope they can keep this up. That's 3 games in a row that they defeated ranked teams, 2 of them on the road. Of course, got the biggie one coming up this weekend. The inbred, toothless hillbillies. I understand you're getting to go to the game. I was going to, but issues with the hip prevented it, so I'm letting number 1 have the tickets. Him and his wife are going.
By the way, 68-year-old Chris, I would enjoy spending some time with your son up there before the game starts. So if that's possible, let me know. I would like to once again enjoy some time with the son of 68-year-old Chris.
Going. Rita's birthday gig went all right this weekend over there. We didn't do the steak thing because it was going to interfere with our football watching, and we didn't want none of that. So we all agreed on several different varieties of Pizza Hut pizzas. It was quite delicious. Oh, and then there was the ice cream birthday cake. Good weekend had by all, Uncle. Eagerly anticipating the program on Monday. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide, roll. 68-year-old Chris, thank you for the voicemail about your life and about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, that reminds me of LD, the Mad Trucker, retired, who called in last week and told us he was going to put over $1,000 on Alabama at -3. Now, see, I'm not a bettor. I don't understand all that. At -3.5, wasn't it? It was -3.5. So did LD win or lose? If he had Alabama -3.5, did he win or lose? that bet of laying down all that cash on Alabama versus Missouri. Now, he phoned this in Saturday afternoon.
Hey, Uncle Henry, LD. How do you blow a lead of 10 points 2 times in one game? How do you do it? You know how you do it? Your name is Kevin DeBoer. That's how you do it.
All right, it's LD, I believe it is Kalen and not Kevin. Do they allow, are Kevins allowed to be football coaches? I don't know. I don't know that I've met, are they? But LD, this does not sound like LD1, does it?
Hey, Uncle Henry, LD. How do you blow a lead of 10 points 2 times in one game? How do you do it? You know how you do it? Your name is Kevin DeBoer. That's how you do it.
That'll be Kalen. I'm guessing that the bet didn't go off the way he wanted it to. I will reserve comment on that, and I'll be back with you after the break.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Watch for congestion developing on Highway 59. From I-10 to Gulf Shores, it's a 48-minute drive. South on Highway 31, from Highway 59 to Spanish Fort, it's a 14-minute drive. And we have a bit of congestion on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, a 7-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hello, I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. Police arrested a 44-year-old man they say posed as a 16-year-old on social media to lure a 13-year-old girl from Mobile County to run away and visit him in Georgia. Valdosta, Georgia police say law enforcement officials went to a Valdosta home where they found the runaway child along with Scott Davis. Officials say the girl had been last seen getting into a car that was eventually spotted in his driveway in Georgia. We're told Davis was detained and the girl was reunited with her family. Detectives say the teen had been communicating with Davis on social media for months. Police in Foley say one person was sent to a hospital after a shooting on Sunday. The shooting happened on East Azalea Avenue just before 9 p.m. An adult was taken to hospital for treatment. If you have any information about this case, call Foley Police. A big step for economic development for the Alabama Port Authority and the state. Stakeholders coming together to celebrate the Mobile Harbor Deepening and Widening Project. The deepest container port in the Gulf is now at 50 feet. It's only 5 feet deeper than before, but it's already making a difference. It was a combination of federal and state dollars from 2019's Rebuild Alabama Act. Then came the dredging. Now among the fastest growing container ports in the nation, the economic possibilities are endless. And we have more details about this celebration on our website, fox10tv.com. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeart radio station.
The top Tuscaloosa police commander has been placed on administrative leave after being arrested over the weekend. Captain Kip Hart, commander of the Tuscaloosa Police Department's Criminal Investigative Division, was arrested on a domestic violence strangulation charge early Sunday morning. Head football coach Trent Dilfer has been relieved of his duties at UAB. The Blazers fell by 20 points to Florida Atlantic, and they're now 2-4 on the season. Athletic Director Mark Ingram releasing a statement saying, in part, unfortunately, our on-field performance has not lived up to the standard of winning we have for the program. He says he's asked Alex Mortensen to serve as interim head coach for the rest of the season. And 1,000 people reportedly out of work. Reports say a flatbed trucking company called Montgomery Transport shut down after a planned sale fell through. I'm Leah Brandon.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump spending part of his day in Egypt, meeting with leaders from more than 20 countries for a summit focused on Gaza's future. Comes after he visited Israel, celebrating a historic peace deal. The president says it's a day people around the region have been waiting for.
Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East, and it's a very simple expression. Peace in the Middle East, and we've heard it for many years, but nobody thought it could ever get there, and now we're there.
The remaining 20 living Israeli hostages held in Gaza by Hamas have been released. Hundreds of Palestinian prisoners held in Israel walking free. Jonathan Deckel-Chen, the father of a hostage who was freed in February, part of a previous ceasefire, speaking on the Fox News channel.
You could see and hear the joy, the relief, the jubilation that the family members felt.
America is listening to Fox News.
YouTube viewers going to be back on the radio here in less than 2 minutes. Got a caller waiting to talk, which is good for you if you're listening. Let me see if anybody's still watching. Let me find my way back to YouTube. Yeah, it takes me a while. I'm of that generation. Oh, yeah, there's still a few of you there. Richard Harvey, thank you again for your donation, Richard Harvey. Thank you all for looking in on the program. Now, let me see. Before I go back on the radio, what can I tell you? A Catholic church in Kenya forced to make a change to their altar wine when their usual wine became a staple beverage at a local bar. It seems that when their wine became widely available outside of the church, many parishioners thought that the wine lost its sanctity. So they have had to go out and get a new wine that is distributed only to the church. I've never heard, this is an alien concept to me, but they had to get a wine that people couldn't get anywhere else before people thought it was sanctified. Uncle Henry's show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thanks again for listening to the show. Now, this coming Saturday is Wine on the River. Joe Bullard's Wine on the River. It happens at the Battleship from 4 to 7 in the afternoon. If you've never been to Wine on the River, it's a gigantic wine tasting event. So if you're into wine, it is your best chance of the year to sample lots and lots of different types of wine there at Joe Bullard's Wine on the River. If you go, they have a lot of different wines to try. They've also got some beer. They got food. They got live music. Wine on the River is happening this Saturday at the Battleship. You can find out more at newsradio710.com. Look for all the info there on Wine on the River. 251-479-2723, the telephone number to reach the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, how you doing?
Snake Trapper, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, I have a snake announcement for you, brother. The temperature here in Mobile last night got down to 54 degrees, and we'll be in the, I think 61 is our expected low throughout till Friday, Uncle Henry. So at any point, if you found a snake shed in the trunk of your car or in your tool shed or in your pump house or something like that, more than likely there will be a snake taking shelter there this week. So I would encourage people not to be alarmed because it'll 90% chance it's going to be a harmless snake because your rattlesnakes or pit vipers and they'll be under rocks or deeper in the ground, and your water moccasins will be in mud banks and stuff. But yes, sir, Uncle Henry. And in the evenings, afternoon, they'll be coming out to try to soak up what sunlight they can get before nightfall again. So they're definitely going to be in and out of these areas. So just kind of be aware, and if you spot one, don't be alarmed. It'll be harmless.
Now, are they, because the temperatures are lower, does that make them more sluggish, more easy for us to battle if we have to do battle with one of these things?
Yes, sir. If they're caught in temperatures below 65, they are very sluggish. They're not trying to be combative. They're just basically wanting to warm up because they got no control over their body temperature. But also, Uncle Henry, another thing I want to tell you, too, the wife and I Saturday celebrated our 39th wedding anniversary.
Oh, hey, 39. Wow.
Yes, sir. So, Uncle Henry, what I got her, I give her flowers, and I give her that honeydew card like I told you, about all you can do. And you know what she had me doing on the morning of our wedding anniversary? At daybreak, Uncle Henry.
What did she have you doing on the morning of your wedding anniversary at daybreak, Snake Trapper?
She had me cutting bushes and washing windows, Uncle Henry. I had to take all the screens off the window, clean the outside and inside. It took me till noon to get it done. And also, she got out there and worked right along with me and did it with me, Uncle Henry. And probably about 11 o'clock, we was out there, boy, just about winding it up. And she looked over at me and she said, I want to ask you something. She said, I noticed a neighbor across the street. She said, a lot of times when he leaves in the morning, she said the last thing he does is kiss his wife goodbye, before he leaves. I said, really? She said, yeah. She said, why don't you do that? And I said, well, honey, I barely even know her. So she didn't think that was too funny.
Well done. Now, that was well delivered, Snake Trapper. A lot of people try that. A lot of people try it, and they can't succeed with it, but you did an outstanding job delivering your punchline. That was outstanding.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But
now,
listen, man,
wait. You got to give me a chance here. So you've just told me that after 39 years of marriage, you gave her flowers, and then you did hard labor for her on your day off. Now, did she give you any kind of gift for your wedding anniversary?
Yeah, Uncle Henry, she did. She sure did. She's good to me, Uncle Henry.
Okay.
She got out there and helped me.
Okay. All right. Well, enough said. I will not probe. Yes, I will not probe any further.
Yeah, she didn't have to get out there and help me, Uncle Henry, but she chose to. And we spent a lot of quality time. And like I said, by dinner time, we had it all done. And these windows was past due of cleaning. We got the kind that you can let down and lean out,
yes.
And the tracks down in the bottom of it. There's a lot of bushes around, so. It took us to noon, but, man, we done a good job. But, yeah, I just wanted to tell people about them snakes, Uncle Henry. Don't harm them snakes. There was one this week I got pulverized at my work just because somebody found it, and the person working in the back shop went to call me to come get it. Before I can get back there, somebody done took a shovel to it, man, and it broke my heart because it wound up being a little small king snake. And I informed that fella that it is against the law to kill that snake just to be killing it. So he could be facing $500 fine and maybe a few weeks in jail, but I'm not going to turn him in. But man, it broke my heart to see him kill that snake, that king snake.
All right, well, let's hope everyone can learn from that.
Yes, sir, Uncle Henry, and you take care, my buddy.
You too. Thanks, and again, happy anniversary to you and Mrs. Snake Trapper. And you, the listener, you're hearing about that 39 years with a man that talks about how delicious it is to eat rattlesnake and how delicious it is to eat these different turtles and all these things. 39 years. But congratulations, Snake Trapper. And yes, I realize that by cleaning those windows and doing it well was gift enough, because the satisfaction of knowing that you had done the job well and the window was clean, I'm sure that lifted your heart, all you needed for your anniversary. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Speaking of emails, I've noticed, I'm sure you've noticed this too, the popularity over the past several years of giant skeletons in people's yards. As each Halloween goes by, I see more and more yards with giant skeletons in them. I even have neighbors that keep their skeleton in their yard all year. And I've thought about these skeletons probably more than you have thought of them, because I keep wondering, what is this signifying about our culture? What does this signify? That more and more people are decorating elaborately for a demonic holiday. Something that is not really good to celebrate. What does this mean? What does it mean? What does it signify that our culture is just worshiping Halloween and putting up all these things and having giant... We can't have just a regular-sized skeleton. Got to be a giant one. Got to be gigantic. What does it mean? What does it signify? And by the way, I don't have any answer. I have no insight on it. I keep wondering, what is it saying about the psychology of our country and the psychology of my fellow human being that they want to put up giant skeletons? Well, today I got an email. This was a pitch. Somebody wants me to interview a veterinarian, Dr. Gary Richter, America's alleged favorite veterinarian and a best-selling alleged author. Now, the pitch, listen to this. They say in their email, "Hi, Uncle. Halloween can be a dangerous holiday for pets. While people can't get enough of the giant yard skeletons, they can be absolutely terrifying for pets. As Halloween gets bigger and better and neighborhood yards fill up with giant skeletons, taking the family dog for a walk could trigger anxiety, terror, and negative dog behaviors, not to mention the dangers of ingesting pieces of the giant skeleton. Would you be interested in tips from this veterinarian?" So yeah, this person wants me to interview a veterinarian about what my dog thinks about the giant skeletons. But I'm not going to do the interview, by the way. But I might make something up and tell you about it later.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
And we have congestion developing on southbound Highway 59. From I-10 to Gulf Shores, it's a 49-minute drive. Also, if you're traveling on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, it's a 7-minute drive. Watch for a crash in Gulf Breeze on Via de Luna Drive at Portofino. Also, an accident Highway 90 at West Fairfield Drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day.
Isn't that nice that life doesn't wait, and Aleve can help? YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in. I want to thank Chris Cook for subscribing on YouTube. Anybody that's subscribed, thank you for subscribing. I promise to try and actually come up with things worth looking at. Not today, of course, but in some future video. Now, Pat Nelly, your neighbor has a giant skeleton and a Sasquatch in the bushes. And Bigfoot is there all year long? No, I've got a neighbor that has the skeleton all year. And I keep trying, and that's made me think. I've thought, I wonder what is the message to the rest of us? That it be, July 25th, and there's a giant skeleton in the yard. What is the message? I don't know. I have not asked him. I have not asked him. I probably should, but it's there. Oh, you're saying they're too lazy to take down the giant skeleton, and that's why they leave it up? Maybe. But I told you last week, there's a house right near the cannon. There are those big, beautiful homes near the cannon. And as beautiful as they are, I would not want to live at the Cannon. There's just a lot going on there all the time, including panhandling, people talking to the voices in their head, that kind of stuff. Now, the house that's closest to the Cannon in Mobile, I was driving by with Mrs. Henry, and we saw a crew. It looked like 3 or 4 people, males, hired to put up their, so they hired a crew to do decorations in that yard. Now, the yard next door, though, whoever that is, went out and got elaborate dragons. And I don't know where you'd put them. When Halloween is over, where would they go, these dragons? It's almost like they're not as big as a Mardi Gras float, but they're big enough to, like, where would you put them? And I thought, is it really worth it? This is not even Christmas. But I guess, you know, if you believe more in the dark side, maybe that's what you do, is invest in a lot of satanic imagery. We're going to be back on the radio here. You know, Spencer Smith, I bet they do give out full-size candy bars. If you are in a situation where you are hiring a crew of 4 people to decorate your front yard with skeletons, you're probably handing out a lot. All right, I'm back on the radio here in less than a minute.
Stories. On our next episode, we'll share the story of Nancy Kelsey, the Betsy Ross of California. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
It is 5:50. Uncle Henry's show proceeding forward. Yesterday was the Out of the Darkness Walk. In Old Town Daphne, the walk to raise money for preventing suicide. And also to provide resources in a community for people that are dealing with the aftermath of all of that. My wife and I had a team, and we had a wonderful time there. And the reason I'm bringing it up here on the day after is to thank those of you that donated. I also want to thank those of you that shared the different things that I put on social media about this event. Thank you so much. I know it doesn't seem like much to you to just share something, but it really it helped. You helped us raise money. We raised over $1,200 for it, so we really appreciate that effort. I want to thank Rebecca and Jerome Lockwood for stopping by the walk. Longtime Uncle Henry Show listeners and big supporters of the show. I want to thank KP and Mrs. KP, also known as VP. I want to thank the KP and VP couple for stopping by and walking the walk with us. Thank you very much. We were very deeply touched by that. And again, those of you that donated, I know Bama Big Man and Richard Harvey and other big listeners of the show donated. Alex Mathis donated. Josh Bernstein, who used to work on NBC 15, donated. Thank you to everybody that donated. Really deeply appreciate that. Again, the number, 251-479-2723. Let me go to the Uncle Henry Show voicemail. I got numerous voicemails over the weekend on a variety of topics. And always love hearing from those of you that want to leave messages for the show. Now, before I get to this message, I got a message about LD. You know, LD put down over $1,000 for Alabama to beat Missouri, and it was Alabama minus 3.5. And I don't know a lot about gambling, and this caller is claiming that LD did not win. Is that right?
Well, Uncle Henry, roll tide roll. Thought Missouri played a little dirty, but we won. And poor old LD, he didn't beat the point spread. He had to give up 3.5, and we only won by 3. So you might not be hearing from him today. He's probably at home in the doghouse because his wife's mad at him. Anyway, have a nice day, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide. You have a nice day, too. Thank you for explaining that to me. I don't know. I thank the Lord am not understanding of sports gambling because there are many, many ways that I can throw my money away. I choose not to throw it away in that form or fashion. Let me go back to the voicemail. Voicemail number is 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the show.
Henry, this here's different. Well, Henry, I was unsuccessful in catching me a snapping turtle this summer. We will shoot for that next spring and summer. Anyways, I didn't call to tell you that as I was cresting the summit of Dog River Bridge, and yes, Henry, that bridge is so tall to me it has a summit. Henry, I looked over towards the eastern shore areas and saw a pencil-thin line, a sharp line of clouds, almost as if God himself took a knife out and just cut one big old line across the sky. It was cloudy on one side of that line and clear on the other. Henry, that was a blue norther. That's basically a front, the front part of a cold front moving in. Henry got me to thinking of my pawpaw. Henry, my pawpaw saw a blue norther come in back in the 1930s. And there's a couple of old men cane pole fishing on some wharves down at the state docks. As my pawpaw was sitting there, the reason he was there was he was waiting on an illegal booze shipment to come in for his daddy's illegal rum running outfit. But anyway, Henry, he watched his blue norther come down and absolutely flash freeze them two old men to that wharf. Froze to death in a matter of seconds. Henry, this blue norther wasn't such, but always got to be careful of these cold fronts moving in like that. Henry, I was almost froze to a deer stand when a blue norther come in when I was hunting. I mean, that temperature dropped. This is in Baldwin County. That temperature dropped. Dagnum near 35 degrees in a matter of a couple of minutes. Beautiful sight to see, Henry.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. By the way, Buford, thank you for the call about seeing a front come in. And I'll tell you, in my times in living near the bay, I think my favorite thing about living near the bay is going down to the bay when a cold front is coming in. The sound, I just love the sound of it. Anyway, Buford, thank you for your voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. 251-216-1976.
Securing America.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth recently announced the formation of a first-of-its-kind department-wide barracks task force.
Charged with developing a...
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. I will be back tomorrow at the regular time. Turning the camera off, but the show does continue on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Have a pleasant evening and pleasant tomorrow.
Readiness.
The Secretary says substandard housing is unacceptable.
Every warfighter of our joint force deserves housing that is clean, comfortable, and safe.
And adds that better housing will lead to better performance.
Barracks are where warriors